Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand Chronically Single. So today I have their Winter's Touch collection, I have their 11th anniversary collection, as well as their It's Just Another Day collection. So the anniversary collection and the Winter's Touch collection are available right now, and then the Just Another Day collection releases on January 21st. So in the description box, I will link the Chronically Single site, I will link their Instagram page, and then I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video. I do also have a coupon code with Chronically Single. It's not an affiliate code, it's just there for you to use if you want to. It'll be here on the screen as well as in the description. So in total, we have 19 polishes to look at, and let's go ahead and get started. So starting off with the 11th anniversary collection, here we have Confident, and this is described as a soft grayish linear holographic with Aurora shimmer and holographic flakes. The formula on this was good. I didn't have any running, pooling, staining, or unevenness. I built this one up to full coverage in 2 coats. You'll definitely want some top coat to finish this off. It does dry a little bit on the dull side and slightly textured, but nothing that 1 coat of a regular top coat isn't going to finish nicely. This is nice and shifty on the nails. The holographic element stands out very beautifully and removal's easy, so there are 2 coats. Next up we have Dreamer, and this is described as a deep blue with Aurora shimmer and holographic flakes. This one is nicely opaque here on this first coat. I did do 2 coats to build this one up to full coverage, and I do think this is a solid 2-coater. Confident, I feel like maybe you might need 3, but this one is definitely 2. Just like Confident though, you'll want top coat to add some life back to this and hide a slight bit of texture, but nothing is going to be difficult to remove as there's no glitter here. So there are 2 coats of Dreamer. Up next we have Edgy, and this is described as a black crelly base with silver, gold, red, and blue reflective glitter. As far as reflective glitters go, this is a little bit thick. It's not difficult to manage right now. I do think after a couple uses I'll have to add some thinner to it just to bring it back to like a usable consistency. I did stop at 2 coats because it started to get a little bit thick on the nail, but I do think this one could stand for a 3rd. This is going to dry with some intense texture, and removal will be extremely difficult. Next up we have Inspiring, and this is described as a black to colorless thermal with hollow micro glitter and red to pink to purple and orange to pink to gold to lime and fuchsia to gold to orange color shifting flakes. So there's a lot of flakes in here, but there's not a lot of them, so it is easy to manage. I mean, there's enough in there, it's just not overwhelming with flakes. So it's easy to manage. They are easy to spread out across the nail. You'll want some top coat because this is going to dry with some texture, and removal does require some scrubbing, so there are 2 coats of Inspiring. Up next we have Limitless, and this is described as a dark purple with red to black shimmer and a multi-dimensional magnetic effect. This one is extremely opaque here on this first coat, not quite a 1-coater, but very, very close. However, when you magnetize this, it is going to pull pigment from the other parts of your nails, so if you plan on wearing this magnetized, I would recommend going in for 2 anyway. I had some brush strokes when this was wet. Those did all dissipate as it dried. It doesn't dry textured, and removal is easy, so there are 2 coats. Next up we have Multitasker, and this is described as an intense red with purple to blue to green multi-chrome shimmer. This is again nicely opaque here on this first coat. It does cover the nail line nicely, but a 2nd coat is going to deepen the color quite significantly. And I did stop at 2 coats for full coverage, but I can only imagine a 3rd coat would probably deepen the color even more. This shimmer that's in here almost looks like a large particle glitter, and it's very beautiful. So there are 2 coats of Multitasker. Next up we have Worthy, and this is described as a holographic silver with Aurora shimmer, hollow glitter, and hollow flakes, and a silver magnetic effect. I liked this one a lot more than I expected to. I've had a lot of silver magnetics in my life, and this is definitely my favorite that I've ever had. The silver that's in here is very bright, and even when it's magnetized, I get a nice bright effect from this, and the holographic element is stunning. Moving on to the Winter Touch collection, here we have Arctic Aurora, and this is just described as a dusty rose cream. This one kind of reads more crelly-ish than cream to me. It's almost got a squishy-like element to it. It does have pretty good coverage here on this first coat. I did have to build it up in a couple coats. It is the lightest shade of the collection, so that's kind of to be expected, and I do think it'll thicken up and be a little bit more opaque after a couple uses, but for today's purposes, I did do 3. This is going to dry nice and glossy all on its own. A top coat will help protect your manicure, but it doesn't necessarily need it. Up next we have Icy Blush, and this is described as a soft grayish blue cream. This is such a winter shade to me, and I think it's absolutely stunning. Again, we are looking at more of a crelly-like formula than a cream formula, so just bear that in mind. It is a little bit more sheer, but it is going to give that kind of squishy appearance on the nails. Just like the last one, I did end up needing 3 coats for full coverage, but I think of the whole collection, this is like this one and Nordic Nectar are probably my favorites, but I think this is such a flattering shade on everybody. So there are 3 coats of Icy Blush. So up next we have Nordic Nectar, and this is described as a purplish mauve cream. This is my other top pick of the Winter Touch collection. I think this is just such a beautiful winter color, and this one has a really great formula. I got full coverage in 2 coats. Unlike the other ones, I don't think you would need a 3rd coat of this, but it does still have that crelly-like consistency. So there are 2 coats of Nordic Nectar. So up next we have Winter's Grace, and this is described as a chocolate taupe brown cream. This one almost feels like a luxurious polish to me. It reminds me a lot of Burberry, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. The formula is great. Again, a crelly-like consistency to it. I got full coverage in 2 coats. It is going to have that kind of squishy element to it where it looks just squishy instead of just a flat cream. Lastly, from the Winter Touch collection, we have Silky Blanket, and this is described as a clear base with a holographic micro glitter. I'm going to show it on its own, and then I'm going to show it layered over Nordic Nectar, but I do have photos of it over all of the creams in this collection. I do really like this. It is just a holographic glitter, but I feel perfectly distributed, like everything comes out of the bottle very easily and it spreads out evenly and easily across the nail. I didn't get full coverage with this on its own. I don't think it's intended to be full coverage on its own. If you wanted it full coverage though, you could definitely sponge it on or add a 3rd coat, but there are 1 and 2. And moving on to the Just Another Day collection, here we have Be Someone Else's, and this is described as a black base with silver and platinum micro flakes. This reminds me of a New Year's Eve polish. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's very well done. The flakes that are in here come out easily, and they do spread out easily across the nail as well with minimal manipulation. I got full coverage in 2 coats, and I think black Crellies are the hardest to get right because black is such a dark pigmented color that it hides what's underneath it, but this one is done really well. You'll want top coat, and removal is relatively easy, so there are 2 coats. Next up we have Chronically Single, and this is described as a deep Barbie pink Crelly with neon pink diamonds, black glitters, and red diamond flakes. This has a good formula. It's not too thick or too thin, and these glitters are very easy to spread out across the nail. These pink diamond glitters are easy to fish out if you want them, but they're also easy to avoid if you don't. You'll want some top coat to finish this off. It is glitter, it is going to dry with some texture, and removal does require some scrubbing. So there are 2 coats of Chronically Single. Next up we have I Can Buy Myself Flowers, and this is described as an off-white Crelly with neon pink dots, gunmetal shreds, iridescent chameleon glitter, watermelon mini stars, and mini black hearts and black glitters. So there's a lot happening in here, but it's not too like much on the nail and too much in one polish. I think it all goes together very, very nicely. I got full coverage in 2 coats, and again, these fun shapes are easy to get out. I didn't have any troubles getting stars, getting hearts, getting what I wanted, and they are easy to fish too if you wanted to place them. With the coverage in 2 coats, you might opt to go in for a 3rd coat. You'll want top coat to smooth everything out, and removal is difficult. Up next we have It's Not Me, It's You, and this is described as a clear base with black and red mini hearts, black and red regular hearts, black micro shreds, and black short slices. I'm going to show 2 coats of this on its own, and then I'm going to show 1 coat over a very light pink. It's not necessarily intended to be worn on its own, but I do love me a little visible nail line, so I do actually really enjoy this look. These hearts are easy to get out of the bottle. They're easy to spread out across the nail. I do recommend placing the larger hearts if you're wanting them with like a toothpick or something of that sort. That way they didn't clump together like mine did. You'll want some top coat to finish this off and hide some of that texture that these larger glitters can create. And removal will be difficult because it is a glitter. So there are 1 and 2 coats of It's Not Me, It's You. Next up we have Lose My Number, and this is described as a silver holographic with cherry galaxy hollow and black and red holographic glitter. I'm going to show this again in 2 coats on its own and then 1 coat over a brighter pink. The formula is incredible. This is a excellently formulated polish, and I can totally see this going for like a 4th of July celebration as well. I was very happy with the coverage in 2 coats. I couldn't see any visible nail line, but it also dispersed really nicely as a topper and it didn't overwhelm the polish underneath. So this one is actually very, very nice in both forms. You'll want some top coat because this is glitter, and because it is glitter, it's also going to be quite difficult to remove. So there are 1 and 2 coats of Lose My Number. Next up we have Not Your Valentine, and this is definitely the top pick of the collection for me. This is described as a red jelly with black glitter and black hearts in both regular and mini. I love how this looks. Like, I think the red and black work so well together, first off, but second, the formula on this is incredible. I got full coverage in 2 coats. It was very opaque on the first coat, but that second coat really made this like a bright, bright red. You'll want some top coat to finish this off and add some shine. Removal will be difficult because it is glitter, and if you want, you can place the hearts. And lastly for today we have Stupid Cupid, and this is described as a black crelly with red hollow glitter, red shreds, and red reflective glitter. I am not in love with this one. It's fine, but it is pretty thick, and this was after I thinned it out a little bit, so it was a little bit difficult for me personally to manage. I'm not sure if it's just my bottle, but it was on the thicker side where it made it a little bit uneven and difficult to work with. It is reflective glitter though, so it is going to dry with some pretty intense texture. You'll want a couple coats of top coat to finish it off and remove the texture, and removal will also be extremely difficult. So there are 2 coats of Stupid Cupid. So here's a look at all 3 collections. The top collection is the 11-year anniversary collection. I think all of these are so well done. I love the magnetics. I love the thermal, the bright blue, the sheer gray. I think these are absolutely beautiful, and together as a set, they look so stunning. There in the middle, we have the Winter Touch collection. The crellies in this are absolutely beautiful. The topper is gorgeous on its own and as a topper, and it looks really nice paired with all of the crellies in this collection. They're all very soft, creamy shades that I think are going to be flattering on everybody and can be worn in so many different ways. And then the Just Another Day collection, of course, there's a few here that I really, really loved. The silver holographic, one that was in a clear base, the topper there at the bottom. I really liked that both on its own and as a topper. I love all the little hearts in here. I think the red with the hearts is probably my favorite of like the entire set of 19 that I swatched today. I think all 3 of these collections are very well thought out. They're very well put together, and they look nice and cohesive as sets. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was from each collection. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.